Hi guys, today is going to be a video about movement and how and when you can create this, when will you see it, how this occurs for your manifestation, and yeah, if you're not seeing it, this is going to explain what you might be doing wrong, but I don't want to tell you guys and have you panic. You're probably not doing anything wrong, but there could be small improvements that sometimes we can make. So this is going to help clarify things for you. Please do thumbs up and subscribe and turn on the notification bell if you enjoy this video. As we get into things and you'd like to see more, it would mean a lot to me, and YouTube will then recommend more of my videos to you and recommend it to more people so we can help more people learn about law of assumption and join this community. Speaking of which, I have launched a membership which features extra content, which is a monthly Q&A every month, and then videos that you guys all see, which of course I post everything to my main channel as well, but it's going to be one day early with no adverts. So that is £2.99 a month if you do want to become a member. And I do offer one-on-one coaching, so you can coach with me on email packages, Instagram DM packages, and also video calls, which I recently launched. I am still running a promotion for the unlimited coaching, which you can get 1 full week of coaching with unlimited questions, DMs, messages for a discounted price with some extra bonus things thrown in as well, which should be somewhere on screen. And yeah, that is all my announcements. Today's video is one that I kind of just thought of off the top of my head because it's a topic that is very, very popular and has a lot of questions. I feel like people feel a lot of doubt about movement. So I just kind of thought this is something to delve into a little deeper today. Basically, if you are wavering, that is where a lack of movement could be coming from. Like I said at the beginning of the video, a little disclaimer, I don't want you guys to panic and think if X, Y, and Z isn't ticked off your list that you're not doing it right, because your movement and your unfolding process, the way your manifestation comes to you, can look different for everyone. There's no right or wrong method or way. As long as you are focusing repetitively on the positive new version, that is what's creating your result. So whether you're spending 20 minutes a day in a really strict mental diet or 3 hours a day and visualizing every other day, it really doesn't matter. There's no right or wrong path. As well as with movement, it can occur visibly for a lot of people. It can happen in steps, or you may see nothing and then just get your full manifestation. Who am I to say? I've not researched millions of people manifesting. I don't know, I can't say there's a right or wrong way. And really for me as well, I've seen my manifestations come in the craziest, most unexpected timelines. So yeah, don't worry if you don't see movement, but here are ways in which maybe you want to contemplate that you might be doing something wrong, or maybe there are little areas you can improve on where you thought, oh, I wasn't thinking this way about the news story. I was doing X, Y, and Z, which we'll get into as we get through this video. But just to remind you guys again, please don't leave any negative comments about your circumstances and don't panic, because this is meant to be a reassuring video. My whole channel is all about helping you guys, motivating you. So yeah, if you are wavering or having thoughts of the old story, and like I said, wavering mentally, so going between one or two things, that's what it literally means. So between the old and new story when it comes to manifesting, if you're doing that and you're having a lot of opposing thoughts, if you flip them, that's fine. But what I mean is if you're actually just sitting there thinking opposing thoughts, that's going to prevent movement from coming in. It's going to create a delay, stagnation. Whereas, if you're very focused and strict and training your mind, or just thinking really positively, then probably your manifestation will come to you pretty quickly in the 3D. But then if you're coming from anything negative or you're very doubtful, you have very little confidence in manifesting, or whatever it is, if there are these types of negative thoughts in your mind, it most probably will cause a delay in the 3D, or like I said, stagnate things. So kind of movement will come in, but very slowly, or it'll prevent certain things from coming up, because whether it's an SP, they might be having doubtful thoughts and also wavering in their mind, reflecting your doubt. So if you start doubting and you don't catch it and you don't start flipping it, or you don't stay consistent, your SP will possibly also start feeling doubtful thoughts as well. So it could come for any manifestation, by the way. And yeah, if you're wavering, that's one area where you want to be aware of it and flip it around, start putting in a little bit more effort, and then more than likely you will start to get more movement, and not even that you have to see it, but you will be guaranteeing that you are creating lots of movement. So just to clarify and make another key point, if you are thinking in a very hot and cold way, like I said, between doubts and the new story, and you're going back and forth, even without an old story for you to reference, even if you're starting something from scratch, a brand new manifestation, you might still have doubts, and that's what wavering is, mentally going between something positive, a positive way of thinking and a negative way of thinking. So if you are wavering and having hot and cold, that is what is preventing or creating a somewhat lack of movement, because you keep going back and forth. So how much progress can you make? It's like driving a car and then you keep pressing on the brake. The movement that you make forward is going to be very, very slow and constantly kind of broken up, right? So you want to make sure that you're not thinking from that old story, because that is what is creating hot and cold results. Wavering, slower movement, a lack of movement. And this isn't for everyone, but if you recognize in yourself and you've analyzed the way you approach manifestation, you think, okay, I feel like I haven't been persisting, I haven't done this, I've let negative thoughts sit in my mind, and it's been 6 months and I've seen nothing in my 3D reality. That is, for example, the time where you want to reconsider what practices you're doing and how positively you're actually thinking about your manifestation. When you start focusing on and believing in the new story and the new version, which comes with consistency and repetition, then the old story gets recreated. It basically gets erased and rubbed out, and then the new story takes over, and that's what is reflected in your physical reality. So it really does come from repetition and focusing on it, and just focusing on your affirmations, or I have a few other practices that I wrote down here, which is that repetition is key, and that is followed by consistency. So the first thing you want to do is, of course, start putting in the repetition, and if it's your first day of manifesting something, spend time looping over and over your affirmation, your affirmation, your affirmation, your affirmation, over and over and over. And do that every single day, multiple times a day if possible, and be aware of your mental diet. And that practice is then multiplied, which means consistency. So you follow that on with consistency. Every single day, putting in effort. Doesn't have to be the exact same thing. You can do it a different way. You can do visualizing, repetition, affirmations, mental diet. You can mix and match between these, as long as you are positively focusing on your desired outcome. That is what matters, because you can't, spend all day doing it and then for the rest of the month just do nothing and spiral. You're probably going to see a lack of movement. It's probably going to stagnate, or the old story will start to creep back in because you haven't put in the work to start shifting your beliefs. Most people are not in this place, by the way, so I'm not telling you it's you doing this wrong, but this is an example, and maybe it's something for you to reflect on, because sometimes it's difficult and we just end up giving up or not following through, basically. It's all about focusing on the practice of thinking from this new way, the new thinking of focusing on the new story. SP has never done that. SP has never said that. We have this commitment. We have this amazing relationship. This is how things are going. You focus on that version. You do not engage with or give attention to don't feed into the old story in any way, basically. Try and consciously shift your thoughts onto the new story, because that's how you're going to be creating that movement and bringing your manifestation into your reality. Another key element of how you can do this and make sure you're creating movement and, I think I phrased this more in a way for people where there's a lack of movement, but to create the movement, you want to really focus on the thoughts coming up in your mind and the reactions. So I wanted to let you guys know that, because sometimes people, oftentimes actually, comment on my videos, and also that I've seen in the general manifestation community, people's problem is that not seeing the movement and already practicing things. But this is also obviously applicable when you're first starting. You're creating movement, so this is how the movement unfolds, by you putting in the repetition and focus and staying aware of the reactions coming up in your mind, which is where the mental diet comes in. It is easy to go on autopilot throughout the day, but that's a little kind of like a trap you want to be aware of, that you don't fall back into old thinking patterns of doubting and anxiety and overthinking the old story, and wondering, oh, why SP is probably doing this and with this person and they aren't texting me, and like whatever it is and whatever the old story was, you don't want to fall back on that and go into autopilot. You want to stay aware of your thoughts just to the best of your ability and focus on the new story that you're repeating over and over, and being aware of if you're mentally reacting. If you see something you don't like, just stay aware and try and shift yourself back onto the positive mindset. Another point that I've touched on in other videos, and I can do an updated version as well, but don't check for results. Don't check the 3D. Don't try and look for the movement, because that is telling your mind that you're looking for something because you don't yet have it. It all comes down to you consciously thinking as if you already have it. There needs to be, or it can go straight to your subconscious in the form of subliminals or affirmation tapes as you sleep or whatever it may be. But the quickest, most efficient way is just to consciously over and over think as if you already have it. That's the key takeaway for this video. So I hope you guys feel positive after this. I hope it was clarifying. I didn't want to scare you or make you guys think you're doing anything wrong, because you're not. Whether you're trying to create more movement after wavering in an existing manifestation or creating a brand new manifestation, you can and will have that movement, because it's the law of assumption, and all you need to keep doing is putting in the effort, applying repetition, and trying your best to be consistent pretty much every single day. That would be ideal. So I hope this clarified things for you guys and was useful, and I'll see you next time.